Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Lately, you've felt it, haven't you? That subtle shift in how people look at you. It's in the way conversations pause when you walk by, the way someone's eyes linger just a little too long, not out of judgment, but confusion. They can't explain it, but something about you feels different. And maybe you've caught yourself wondering, what changed? You didn't announce a new version of yourself. You didn't try to stand out. Yet, suddenly, you do. There's a quiet electricity around you now, a kind of presence that moves before your words do. You can feel it when you walk into a room. The air shifts, people glance up, and even those who once overlooked you sense something they can't quite name. It's not your clothes, it's not your hairstyle, it's not even your confidence. It's the mark of transformation, the kind that no one can fake and no mirror can fully capture. Something on you changed because something in you healed. And the world is only now catching up to that truth. When God restores someone, it doesn't stay invisible. The restoration leaks through your smile, your tone, your stillness. People can feel it, even if they don't understand it. You carry evidence of survival, and those who stare, they're reacting to the glow of someone who's been through fire and came out gold. That's what divine approval looks like. It's not loud, it's not boastful, it's quiet confidence wrapped in grace. Some look at you and see peace they can't find in themselves. Others sense purity in your energy, and it startles them. It's the same peace they once thought was impossible, but when they see it on you, it challenges everything they believe about themselves, and you can't hide it anymore. Because when God decides it's time for your becoming to be seen, He lets your frequency announce it. So don't misinterpret the stares. They're not about vanity, they're about recognition. When you shift in spirit, your environment becomes your mirror, and the eyes around you reflect what heaven already sees. You've crossed an unseen threshold, dear chosen one. You let go of the version that doubted, apologized, and over-explained. And though you didn't say a word about it, people can feel that you no longer seek permission to exist. They can feel your self-possession. Your calm doesn't read as weakness anymore. It reads as authority. The way you hold your silence now, it carries weight. Because silence looks different on those who've been approved by heaven. And maybe that's why people can't look away. They're not seeing arrogance, they're seeing assurance, the kind that only comes from walking through uncertainty and still choosing faith. You see, when God changes your atmosphere, He changes your reflection in other people's eyes too. You're still you, but the light hits you differently now. And for some, that light is hard to handle. It confronts, it exposes, it awakens. They stare not because you're trying to shine, but because your spirit refuses to dim again. Let that sink in. You're no longer striving to prove your worth, and that's what makes it visible. You're standing in what was always yours, and heaven is echoing it through the way people react to you. You might have noticed, conversations feel different too. People who once had power over your emotions now hesitate when they speak to you. They feel the new boundary, not one you declared out loud, but one written by growth itself. That's what happens when God upgrades your aura. Your light becomes self-protecting. It repels what's false and magnetizes what's real. And I know sometimes that visibility can feel strange. You didn't ask for the attention. You just healed. You just outgrew versions of yourself that people were comfortable misunderstanding. But that's the thing about divine transformation. It doesn't ask for permission to be noticed. It announces itself through energy, and when heaven confirms you, earth reacts, sometimes in awe, sometimes in confusion, and sometimes with resistance. So if you've been catching those longer stares lately, if you felt the shift in how people move around you, don't doubt it. That's heaven revealing its evidence. You've changed frequencies. You don't carry exhaustion anymore. You carry assignment. You don't carry fear. You carry discernment. And even when you're quiet, your spirit is loud. That's why they can't stop staring, because something on you changed, and it's not temporary. It's the visible reflection of an invisible approval. You've probably started noticing it more often now. The way people act around you feels different. Some soften up, like your peace calms them. Others get tense, like your presence reminds them of something they lost. And you can't always tell which is which at first. You just feel it, that subtle vibration in the air when someone's energy meets yours. It's not that you're intimidating, it's that you've stopped needing to be understood. And that unsettles people who still chase approval. They don't realize they're staring, but their spirit does. It recognizes the stillness in you, the kind that only appears when a storm has already passed. You used to fill silence with explanation. Now your silence does the explaining. That's growth. You used to make people comfortable by shrinking your truth. Now your truth walks into the room before you do. That's favor. And people can feel it. They don't know what changed, but they sense you've made peace with yourself. And peace is louder than any performance. You've probably seen it in their eyes, that moment when they tilt their head slightly, when their words slow down as if they're recalibrating. They're not reacting to your looks, they're reacting to your lightness. The weight you carried is gone, and the world doesn't know how to categorize the new you yet. Some will be drawn to it, some will be confused by it, and a few will feel exposed in it. Not because you're judging them, but because your calm highlights their chaos. Don't take it personally. That's what transformation does. It rearranges what's around you without your permission. You don't have to analyze every stare. Sometimes it's admiration, sometimes it's conviction, sometimes it's just the soul remembering safety. You are walking proof that peace is possible, and that makes people look twice. And here's the part most people miss. The stares are not just about you, they're about what your presence activates in others. When you healed, you sent a ripple through every space you enter. Old patterns break, unspoken truths rise, and even strangers can feel when a place has just become holy ground. That's why you're here in this season, not to blend in, but to shift atmospheres. You don't have to preach, you don't have to prove, you just have to show up in your wholeness. Because the light on you isn't just decoration, it's direction. It tells the room that restoration is real, and I know it can be uncomfortable sometimes. When eyes linger too long, when the energy turns heavy, when you sense both curiosity and resistance in the same space. But remember, you didn't gain attention, you gained evidence. Evidence that God really did something inside you. The same people who once doubted your resilience are now quietly studying it, not out of jealousy, but out of wonder. They're watching to see if peace can really last, and through you, they'll find out that it can. So the next time you feel all eyes on you, don't shrink or rush to disappear. Breathe. Let that awareness remind you, you survived the fire and didn't lose your glow. You're not the same person walking through those doors anymore, and that's exactly the point. You were never meant to be ordinary background in someone else's story. You were meant to walk in carrying evidence that healing is real, and every glance, every whisper, every pause in the room is heaven echoing the same truth. Look, this is what transformation looks like. So hold your head high, chosen one. You're not being stared at, you're being witnessed. And the world needs to see what divine restoration really looks like in motion, because something on you changed, and it's beautiful, and it's holy, and it's yours. As we close, I want to invite you to my second channel. It's filled with peaceful ambient music, created for moments when you need calm, stillness, or gentle focus. You can tap the playlist on your screen, and I'd be grateful to have you join me there.